Good morning and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. I'm John Karabatsis and I'll be your host for this edition of the Bowling University Tuesday Morning Profit Break. Thank you for joining us. The Tuesday Morning Profit Break is an opportunity for sharing insights on how to grow revenue, reduce costs, and enrich yourself, your team, and your business. Welcome to our new viewers and welcome back to those of you joining us again. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy day. We have another great show. So grab your coffee or your favorite morning beverage and let's get started improving your profitability. Today, we have with us one of our very own team members from here at the campus, Bart Burger. Bart is no stranger to the Tuesday Morning Profit Break for sure, or the industry, and is going to spend a few minutes this morning talking about revenue management and why it matters. Bart, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your schedule this morning.
Hey, good morning, JK. Always great to be with everybody, and good morning, everyone. I want to spend a few minutes this morning talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is revenue management. Now listen, it's one thing to generate revenue. It is quite another to be able to manage that revenue. So we're going to take a small dive into a very complex subject, and that is revenue management. And what I'm going to share with you actually comes from the book from Dr. Robert Cross. It's a great book, Revenue Management, Hardcore Tactics for Market Domination. It's something that many years ago we dug into here at the university and started to see where we could put these practices in the place for you as small business operators. Full disclosure, it is a challenging book to read, but it is full of nuggets on how to improve your business. So today I'm going to share a few snippets with you to get you started there. So first of all, let's talk about what do we even mean when we're talking about revenue management. Now, Dr. Cross gives us his textbook definition in the book. It's the art and science of predicting real-time customer demand at the micro market level and optimizing the price and availability of products. Now, folks, that's a mouthful, very academic, it's accurate, but I will tell you that it's hard to remember, it's hard to teach to. So thankfully, Dr. Cross gives us a basic definition, and that is making price and product availability adjustments to achieve significant revenue gains. Much better. I can understand that. I can teach to it, but really wanted to drill it down and make it even a level easier for us to speak to. And I'm going to share with you my definition. Now, of course, this definition is not in the book, but I believe it captures the essence of what Dr. Cross was teaching to, and that is this: maximizing revenue on each and every sale, charging the right price to the right person at the right time. And that, in essence, is what we believe and what we teach to here at the university on revenue management. Now, we take a deep dive at our management school. We've got a great online course that JK will tell you about at the conclusion of this morning's show. I'm going to jump in and give you just a little snippet about one of the tactics that you can use if you want to maximize revenue on each and every sale by charging the right price to the right person at the right time. So who's using revenue management? Because it's not a new tactic. It's one that's been with us for several years, and there are many industries and business that are using it. In fact, I would bet that many of you are already practicing some of this and may not even realize that it's called revenue management. Airlines, it really pioneered in the airline industry. That's where Dr. Cross, he was with American Airlines, did a lot in the yield management area. Hotels is another great example, rental car companies, cruise lines, amusement parks, and today, and I hope after today, all of you, progressive bowling proprietors. So all of these retail businesses and all of these businesses are utilizing these tactics. Now, let's talk about the 3 P's of revenue management: pricing, packaging, and paying. Now, for today, I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes with you on the pricing aspect. We're not going to get into the packaging and the paying. That comes in a deeper dive, as I mentioned. But just quickly so you understand, when I talk about packaging in our industry for our product, there is this idea and challenge of, do I package my game of bowling as a game or by time? And there's a movement to this time packaging. So just know when we talk about packaging, we're talking about this game of bowling is a game 12 frames or is a game a set of time? And then paying, how do we pay for the experience? How does the guest, when they visit us, pay for the experience? Do they do that before they actually participate or after? We call that pre and post pay. We're not going to talk about those, but just know that those are deeper layers that we talk about in revenue management. What I want to spend a moment on today is pricing. It's the area that I think you can have the biggest impact immediately. So let's talk about psychological pricing. Psychological pricing is setting prices lower than the whole number. It happens to us all the time. We see it many places we go in the retail environment. The example here is $4.99 versus $5. What I want to speak to you about, and what we teach to at the university, is what we call charm pricing. And we all see this charm pricing in many, many of the retail businesses you and I frequent. And that is setting prices that end on the 9. And I want to take a second and understand why this matters and how it even works. So MIT and the University of Chicago did a study that's very well known. It's been published. And just a couple of bullet points from reams and reams of detail of this study. Prices ending in 9 actually create increased demand. I want to say that again. Prices that end in the 9, the study shows, it increases the demand. We read from left to right in our society, so we have a left digit bias. Now, I know that consciously $4.99 is really the same as $5. There's only a penny difference. But the reality is we read from left to right. We have a left digit bias, so I see the number 4. 4 is less than 5. Therefore, $4.99 is much less, creates much more demand than $5. And this decision, we must understand that it's sparked in the subconscious. If you and I stop and think about it, we realize there's no difference between $4.99 and $5. But in the buying decision we make subconsciously, we absolutely are impacted by that. So just know that these are the things that go into that decision making. And one of the things that I was really intrigued by, the mere sign of 99 denotes a bargain. So for us in our business, how do we take that and how do we translate in that for us for pricing strategies? Open play pricing on the 9s. Many of you in our industry today, we price our pricing on the whole dollars of the 5. We might be at $4 or $3.95. But understand the data says that we could be on the 9s. Food pricing on the 9s. You see this in many of the casual dining restaurants you go into today. And I would even say that more of the upscale dining places are trying to embrace this strategy as well. Shoe rental pricing on the 9s. And while it's not pricing on the 9s, something in this environment we need to be aware of is today's guest in this environment is willing to pay more for the right not to wait and do open play reservations. The pandemic has been an accelerator, and we have to be able to offer online reservations today in our businesses. And I will tell you that today's guest will pay for that right not to wait, and they will even pay a premium price in doing that. Now, this is an example of a menu from a real bowling center. I removed the name to protect the innocent, and they're doing a whole lot of things right in this menu. Look at the pricing here. You can see that Monday through Friday after 5, it's $32.99. They've chosen to price by the hour. I love it. They price on the 9s. I love it. Their Saturday price, $32.99. You can see they have a Sunday special, $15.99 per lane per hour. They do $1.99 shoe rental. But look at the bottom here. There's one thing they missed. And no matter how good we are, this is something we have to stay on top of, because in the shoe rental, you can see that they're charging $3.50 a pair. They're missing that opportunity to be at $3.59. So they followed all of the principles as it relates to bowling. They did a lot with the packaging. We don't know their methodology of paying, so there's a lot of good things that are happening in this example, but that one opportunity of that $3.50, they're missing that with the shoe rental. Now, you might say, hey, Bart, does it really matter? It's $3.50, it's $3.59, it's 9 cents. I don't really want to mess with pennies, and at the end of the day, does it really matter? Let's do an example to share with you why it matters, because it's a big deal. So their current pricing is at $3.50. Charm pricing says they should be at $3.59. So essentially, they're giving up 9 cents on every pair of shoes that they rent during any given period of time. Now, I took some data from the most recent benchmark study and just said, hey, if a 24-lane center, average, yours could be more or less, is going to do about $112,000 in shoe rental revenue. Again, yours could be more, yours could be less. This is based off of 24 lanes of the benchmark data. That means at $3.50 a pair, in my scenario here, this bowling center rented just over 32,000 pairs of shoes. Now that 32,000 pairs of shoes times that incremental gain of 9 cents is $2,900 for the year just on that one item. Now here's the important part, folks. That's 100% profit. All of that $2,900 drops immediately to the bottom line because there's no incremental cost. So that's what we call in business, you're leaving that money on the table. That's just one item, $2,900. JK, imagine if we went and did that with fries and burgers and games. It can add up and be tens of thousands of dollars for every center there. So those pennies really do matter.
That's amazing. That's a strategy I can see that can really benefit the center's bottom line. And it seems very simple to implement. So question for you though. Right now we know most of our members are exceeding pre-pandemic revenues. So is now the time to really focus or worry about revenue management? Shouldn't we wait until things start to subside and go down?
You know, JK, that is a very fair question to ask, and again, you're correct. Our data shows that about 60% of our centers today are actually at their pre-pandemic levels, some having record years, and one might say, well, hey, why not wait till we need it? But here's what I would share with you. Don't wait. And there's a couple of big reasons. One is that still some of you may not be at those pre-pandemic levels, so you're still looking to get back to where you were pre-pandemic. But even for that 60% that are ahead or having record years, know this, you're feeling it. Generating revenue is one thing, putting it to the bottom line and profit's quite another, because we're all faced with inflation. Our commodity costs are rising, our payroll costs are rising, so we need to keep pace with that. And that $2,900 on shoes may make the difference between us being profitable. We know that many of our centers are having record years in revenue, but are we having record years in profit? And at the end of the day, it's about improving your profitability. Right. So know that you have inflation, know that you have those commodities, know the wages are rising. I say that now more than ever, practicing these revenue management techniques are critical to maintain and increase that profitability.
That makes sense. It's not what you earn, it's what you keep. Good. Thank you for that. Another question for you. Sales tax. Let's talk about that for a minute. Who should pay the sales tax on the products we sell? Should it be the location? Should it be the center, the business, or should it be the guest?
Yeah, you know, JK, that's a question that seems we only ask in our industry. We're one of the few industries that we absorb the tax and don't pass it on to the guests. Now, there's a whole reason for that. We could sit around a fire or a table or a bar at a meeting and talk about that. A lot of it has to do with our league guests, that tax is included. That makes perfect sense. But in every retail environment you go into today, the guest pays the tax. You and I, wherever we shop, wherever we buy commodities, clothing, groceries, we pay the tax. So where bowling and shoe rental is taxable, there are still a few states that bowling is not taxed, but where your product is taxed, the guest should always pay that tax. It's just a great practice. And now let's take our example of that $2,900. Let's say, for example, that this bowling center was paying the tax, absorbing that into their cost of $350, and shoe rental is in fact taxed in their state. And let's just say a rough number that 6% is the sales tax. That 6% is another $6,800. That would be profit if they were passing that tax on to the guest. So now you start thinking about the tax and the 9%, you are just on that one item shoe rental, you're over to $10,000 of profitability. So it matters. You and I as a consumer expect to pay the tax. We don't like it, we don't enjoy it, but we expect to. So always pass on the sales tax to the guest, with the exception of that league product.
Right. And to your point, we expect it as consumers, we expect it to pay the tax. So we have time for one more question. Some locations will use what's called pub pricing. They won't price on the nines, they'll price on the even dollar. How can they take advantage of this?
Yeah, that is a great debate going on right now, and there are a lot of consultants, a lot of restaurant folks that believe in that pub pricing. I like it. It's appealing. There's no dollar signs. It's clean. And I'm not against it, but here's my question, and I don't know that I fully have the answer for it, but here's why the pub pricing scares me. When commodities go up in this inflationary environment, and we don't know when it's going to stop, our payroll is going up, as I mentioned earlier. Let's say my product is $8. What's my next price increase? I mean, do I go to 9? I have no room for that. I have to go the whole dollar. So I like the concept. I like the appeal of it. I like how it as a guest, how it feels. What I don't know is where do you go in that pricing increase? So I love the brands that are like at $8.49, then I can go to $8.99. And if I'm at $8.99, I can go to $9.49, and then I can go to $9.99. So charm pricing gives me more room in this volatile environment. I love the appeal of pub pricing, but I'm just not sure where to go on that pricing increase.
Yeah, good. good answer. Great, great. Bart, thank you for that great information. We're out of time. That's money in the bank, folks, if you follow that. So I'd like to remind all of you that if you'd like more information or have team members that would benefit from understanding this topic, we have a great 30-minute course as part of the on-demand online training program at bowlinguniversity.net. As we wrap up another edition of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break, remember that when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. We look forward to seeing you next week at 10:15 Eastern for another great episode of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break. If you have any questions about today's show or would like additional information, you can reach us at any time at education@bpaa.com. Also, you and your team can watch any of our previous episodes 24/7 by visiting bowlinguniversity.net. Until then, I'm John Karabatsos, and do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next week.